With the Great Rift currently splitting the 40k galaxy in half after the fall of Cadia, it is easy to forget about other, less monumental tears in reality that dotted the cosmos for the last 10,000 years, many of which are now distinct areas of the otherwise hard to comprehend Cicatrix Maledictum. The Eye of Terror being the greatest and the most important one of them all. The so-called Screaming Vortex, the subject of today's video, is certainly a smaller and more obscure one. In fact, it is located so far from the galactic center, it isn't even currently connected to the Great Rift. However, at the same time, it is possibly the best documented of any warp storms in the galaxy. Therefore, studying it gives us not only a tremendous amount of interesting lore, but we can also get a better understanding of what madness we could expect in any other region taken by the warp. Be it the Maelstrom, the Eye of Terror, or the Great Rift in all its galaxy-spanning length. The Screaming Vortex is located in the Segmentum Obscurus, far to the galactic northwest, further even than the Great Eye. It separates Calixis sector and Coronos Expanse on the edges of Imperial space. Similarly to the Eye of Terror, it was born from the cataclysm which ruined the Eldari civilization. In fact, astropaths and navigators near it find themselves assaulted by the endless screams of those ancient Eldar still echoing in the Sea of Souls. Occasionally, the screams are so loud that even non-psychers can hear them, scratching at the edge of their sanity. For the damned renegades and millions of souls unlucky enough to be born within its confines, the vortex is an equivalent to, at least, a whole imperial sector in both its size and complexity. Unlike the Eye of Terror, which seems almost welcoming to all new followers of the dark gods, the vortex is a capricious beast welcoming no one, be it enemy or ally. If someone is mad enough to enter this screaming abyss, they need a sufficient sacrifice to appease the warp storm itself, as well as a ship captain mad enough to consider such a journey. As is often the case with chaos, the only thing shielding the Imperium from monstrosities dwelling within this warp storm is the never-ending strife for supremacy between its own denizens. Cosmographically, the vortex is split into three main regions, depending on relative depth in the storm. Most inhabited planets are concentrated in the outermost glooming worlds. They encompass several hundred systems, although most of them are forgotten wastelands filled with monstrosities and horrors. Some planets are endlessly fought over by insane warlords, while others can have a teeming population on one sighting, only to show no signs of ever harboring life the next time they are seen. Make no mistake, for even the outer ring of the vortex is a realm of madness and suffering. On the world of Xurund, monumental brass statues of a being called Paftar bear witness to never-ending slaughters between tribes of savages. Bloodshed is only occasionally halted by devastating winters through which only the most bloodthirsty and competent warlords continue their conquests. Sometimes, from under the Xurund's surface, mysterious metal dragons emerge, only to be hunted down and butchered for parts by the bravest of Xur warriors. Elsewhere, on the planet of Kusal, ruled by warlocks and arcane technocrats, trade takes place with souls as the only worthwhile currency. While the three last great cities squabble for dominance over this seemingly ordinary world, the sorcerer ruling class is held in check only by ancient treaties and magical contracts forbidding use of the most reality-shattering doomsday engines. However, if any off-world conqueror is foolish enough to threaten Kusal, they will shortly find, for example, a couple of very angry greater demons materializing on their flagship bridge. Then there is a dreaded tyrant star, a mysterious phenomenon that torments any system in which it appears, eclipsing the system's natural sun. Many believe the tyrant star to be a conscious entity, a god or a demon from the inner vortex. Many still perform atrocious rituals in an attempt to shield themselves from its gaze, while others do the same, hoping to summon this bringer of ruin. There are many other intriguing and terrifying things within the outer sphere of the Screaming Vortex, such as the warring forges of the Hollows, Croods of Asphodel, or the pirate princes of the Rugged Helix. But let us venture deeper into the Vortex inner ring. Some say that the planets of the inner ring were once maiden worlds of the ancient Eldar, twisted beyond all recognition at the moment of the birth of Slanesh, and the Screaming Vortex with it. Reality here is malleable, not yet fully consumed by the Immaterium, but shaped by the whims of the warp's denizens. For example, the world of Mammon could be seen as a cruel joke of the ruinous powers ridiculing the Imperium of men. Here, war is truly never-ending, with both sides believing they are the true followers of the great god emperor on Terra. A desolate world where every person's worth is measured only through the pain they are able to inflict upon the other side. How the malnourished and constantly battling population of Mammon manages to feed its armies with new recruits is a topic of debate. Some believe the planet possesses vast cloning facilities from the ages past. This being a place at the edges of reality, some direct contributions from the powers beyond can't be ruled out either. Resurrection of the fallen, dropping new fanatics from the sky, or other, perhaps more subtle ways are theorized and then attributed to one of the Chaos Gods. At the deepest end of the Vortex's inner ring, there is a place called the Flaming Tomb, a very descriptive name given to a planet of ceaseless tectonic discharges. Any life unfortunate enough to dwell here is confined to islands of solid rock between a turbulent sea of lava and clouds of noxious gases. Even if you manage to find shelter from tsunamis of molten rock, occasionally humanoid creatures, as if made from lava itself, rise from the ocean and stalk the land for the living. Beyond the Flaming Tomb, in the so-called Lower Vortex, there is a realm of legends. Only a couple of demon worlds here are known to mad scholars of the Vortex, places completely detached from the laws of reality. Both space and time here are only suggestions carried over by mortals which by some miracle managed to end up within this eye of the storm. A moon called the Gates of Moment is perhaps the best example of this utter disregard for scientific dogma. It is said to exist simultaneously on multiple changing orbits. Those wandering its surface might suddenly find themselves at a similar place, yet on the other side of the galaxy, or flung in time anywhere between minutes to millions of years in both future and past. Some within the vortex also speak of the legend of the Frozen Heart, a place whose nature changes with every storyteller. Some believe it is a resting place of the greatest disciples of chaos, others that it is the calm center of the storm where powers of the dark gods persist in a perfect equilibrium. Some even say it harbors the power to control the raging tides of the Screaming Vortex itself. Perhaps someone already claimed this power, or perhaps it is a lie like all the other legends. One can only guess how the Screaming Vortex has changed in the many years since the fall of Cadia and the opening of the Great Rift. Perhaps it didn't change at all due to nature of the warp. Regardless, it still serves as a great resource for studying how regions of the galaxy controlled by chaos function. This was only a brief overview of the subject, with many more planets, factions, and mysteries still left to explore. I plan to cover some of them in more detail in the subsequent videos. Let me know what do you think and what topics you would like me to tackle. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing for more. Take care.